Thank you. Thank you for coming. I'm very happy to be here, very honored. And I will show you some free thoughts about the topic of this year, because the topic of Italian Design Day around the world this year is inequalities. And I have to tell you that when I heard such a topic, I thought that was a very difficult topic, and I was quite worried to face such a big problem. Inequalities. Inequalities is a very very central topic for humanity today, as being always an important topic for humanity. And I have to tell you something strange. Do you know that inequality could not have any positive meaning? Inequalities is definitely a word with negative meaning. It's not possible to find positive meaning in such a word. That's strange. That's strange because there are not so many words that don't have an alternative. We don't have an alternative in inequalities. Inequalities exist in the past and exist today. And the role of everybody is to fight against inequalities. And as architect, as designer, I have to fight with my tools. I have to fight with my imagination, my ideas, my responsibilities. And do you know which one is the responsibility for a designer, for an architect? The responsibility for designers is to create diversities. What is a strange combination? We are talking about inequalities, and I produce differences. That's the main core of my speech today, and just the reason why I wrote the big package of human misunderstandings. Well, the only way that I can imagine how to fight against inequalities is to think, to design, to foresee a better future through the idea that everything that we do should keep the man in the center, should keep mankind at the center, and that everything that is producing some innovation and some quality for the future will be judged if it is for humanity and not against humanity. Will be judged if it is for a bright future of mankind, or will be wrong, definitely wrong. I told you, as designer, we create brands, we create ideas, but we create especially diversity. Every product that we design, every building, every space is successful if it is different, because we are living in a time in which everything should become visible, should become fascinating, should become attractive if it has a difference. When I studied architecture, well, I have to tell you, I'm not a designer by training. By training, I am an architect. I studied architecture in Florence. That is one of the most traditional school of architecture in Italy. And probably just by reaction, I became a designer. And And now, walking about to develop a concept for this talk, I understood that um, design is very different today from the idea of design that I was following at the beginning of my profession 50 years ago, 52, 53 years ago. Because design at my time was just um, one one possible interpretation of architecture, one section of architecture, and in this 50 years became something much larger, much more involving the idea of designing for the future, designing for a better life. Every day we discover a different interpretation of design. At my time, design was only product design or environmental design, but not for sure something like design thinking or interaction design. Interaction design, yes, in the early 70s didn't exist at all because didn't exist any computer in the world. You know when Steve Jobs did his first personal computer in the garage where he was living was 1981. So it was only 42 years ago. At the time in which I was a student, there were no computers. I was working only with my pencil, only with my pen, some piece of paper, and nothing else. No computers were in the face of the world. So you understand that, how much design has increased in value and as much important it is today design. You're a student of design, I expect. Well, you did a beautiful choice because design is really something involving the future of humanity. And mainly because design is education. When you think to design and you think to how to produce ideas, how to produce synthesis, how to produce interpretation, how to produce some good path through complicated ideas. Well, everything that we do has to be thought and interpreted as education. If we are able to understand and to map our work in the direction of education, we'll be successful. No other way to be successful in design. When I met Ettore Sotzas, was my mentor, my main reference in the field of design. Ettore Sotzas told me, Michele, be careful, because when you design objects, when you design products, when you design spaces, you do not design the physical part of the product, of the object, of the space. You design the behavior of people around what you design. You don't design the physical part of the object, but you design the behavior of people that will use this object, that will use this space. And this was something like 50 years ago, but I believe that this message of Ettore is very important even today. We have to be careful that when we design something, we design the behavior of people and we participate to the evolution of habits. Everything is continuously changing. I can tell you, when I analyze what happened in the past 50 years, I'm really shocked. Well, I'm much more shocked when I say that something that happened because of my design and happened because of some of the inspiration that I gave around me as professor, as teacher, as professional designer and architect. As designer, as architect, we are looking for diversity, and the diversity is everything, because if we are not able to be different, we are not able to attract the attention of people. But what is more important to know is that we are living inside diversity. We are living in a world that is basically driven by diversity. Everything is diverse. Every part, each of us is different from the other. Our thoughts are different. Our habits are different. Our dreams are different. We are dealing with diversity in any moment of our life, and I discovered this concept very, very often. One beautiful story I want to tell you concerns ants, the insects. At this moment, I don't remember the name of the scientist that looks for insects. But all the scientists that are dealing with ants, they know very well that the society of ants is done by many different individuals. And the society of ants is wonderful. It's very efficient, very well working. Everybody knows that ants hill is a perfect society with perfect rules and with perfect identification of the rules. There are the ants workers, there are the ants gathering food around, there are the ants nurse that attend the nursery, there are the ants working in the storage, there are the ants policemen, there are the ants creating driving the traffic and checking the traffic, and there are also ants disturbing. There are some individuals that the only role they have is to disturb. They do strange joke, and they try to break the rules. Well, not few people, not few individuals. And there are something like 5-6% of individuals in the ant hills, they are disturbing. What is interesting is that they tried to take all these disturbing individuals away. They took each of them, they took away, and the surprise was that the society of ants collapsed. There was no other capability to work without the disturbing individuals. This was a very, very strange discovery for me, because I thought that if we can take out all the disturbing elements of life, we will live much better with a much more relaxing condition. Well, it's not like that. And that is just to say that we are living in a fully opposite condition. We need oppositions between light and darkness, between happiness and sadness, between warm and cold, between high and low. We are continuously looking for a medium way to pass through. It's very important to know and to see and to understand that diversity is not only within humanity, but is also biologically. You know what biodiversity means, and you know that biodiversity is essential for life, and life came out because in the origin of life there were uh, a, uh, many different styles, many different um, small part of life that combined together. I was very impressed when I went to teach design in Amazon forest. You will say, what? What are you going to teach design in the Amazon forest if there are no industries, if there are only trees? Uh, Well, this was a wonderful experience for me because I understood that design is not only to design product or to deal with contemporary civilization. It's also to find out a future for, for the forest, for the biodiversity. Well, if you fly over the uh, south part of Amazon forest, you will see very strange um, rectangular shapes of a different color. You will see very strange um, regular shapes, sometimes also round, sometimes rectangular, sometimes squared, of forest that has a totally different color, totally different pattern, totally different and unexpected appearance. Well, they told me these are the so-called the silent forests, because these are the forests that has been created by man to cultivate certain kind of trees for good reason, for certainly for creating some cultivation of I don't know, pine trees or olive trees or some other kind of tree, and they're called the silent forest because animals of the jungle, they don't go there. Have you never been in a jungle? You know, in the jungle is a crazy sound. All the noise of animals, insects, birds, leaves, so is a sound that is very high and very penetrating inside yourself. Well, if you go in the silent forest, there's no noise at all. Animals reject to go in the forest that has been created with one species of tree, because forest is the biodiversity in in uh, yeah, in the most wonderful way. In the forest, there are biodiversity in vegetations, biodiversity in animals. Every kind of species is growing in a different way in the forest. Um, and we are participating with the creation of our differences to this kind of world. We are in the world of diversity, and we will create diversity in the future. No way. We for our survival, for our capability to survive, we need to create diversity and to stay in this diversity, to be able to live in this diversity, to take all the possible advantages from diversity, even further. Because if the world is the same all around the world, south, north, if everything would be similar, will be not so exciting as it is. I will say more. I will say that diversity is the research of evolution. Evolution is the base of our life. We want to to evolve. We need to evolve. And to evolve, we create the stories around which we understand each other, around which we can imagine something better than not it was in the past. Design means to build identities. Each of us has a personal identity, and if each of us love its own identity, or at least it loves the idea to develop its own identity. And I tell you, I'm very lucky. You know why? Because I have a twin brother. Anybody of you has a twin brother? Identical? No? You have a twin brother? No, you have a twin brother? Do you have a twin brother? None of you? Twin? You are? Well, I'm very lucky. I'm sorry for you, but I'm much more lucky than you because I have a person that has been born together with me, with my face, with my dimension, totally identical. When I was very young, nobody was able to understand if I was me or my twin brother. Never me, honestly. I have an identical person that is living in this world together with me, with my face, with my without the beard, because when I turned 18, I understood that I wanted to be different by this guy that was so close to me. Did you see the picture there? That's me when I was a child, and that's me today. And my first project is such a beard. Time by time, somebody asked me, "But why you have such a beard?" It's a long story to tell because I got the beard to be different from my twin brother. You see, this is a project. This is a project about me. This is a project about my identity, and it's a project about what I want to be. And I want to be different. I want to be different from my twin brother. So you understand how much deep is within me the need to be different. And since I got the beard, I went to study architecture. My twin brother studied chemistry. I became an artist. He became a scientist. And we spent all our life diverging, one in one way and the other in the other way. Since few years ago, 10 years ago, and we started to merge again because my twin brother he retired, and I didn't retire. I'm still working and teaching and enjoying life. He retired, and he started to paint, to make paintings, to make drawings, and we understood that at the end of the story, we have something very, very similar inside. Well, apart of that, the something that we have to be very careful about is that we are living in a time in which we deal through money. You know, that's very, very, very important. Can be very poor to say, very unpolite to say that money is so important. No. But money is a way to understand each other. And it's very simple. If we wanted to judge the value of something, we use the paradigm of money, because through money we know very, very simply what is the value. And money is just one of the stories that we created as humankind. because that's very strange that we can say a piece of paper is $1 value or €1 value, and another piece of paper, very similar, only with another color, can be €100 value. And we believe to this story. We believe everybody of us is ready to say that is true. There's a nice a philosopher called Harari, and he tells a beautiful story. He says, try to give to a chimpanzee one piece of paper called €1 and one banana. For sure, the chimpanzee will choose the banana, because a banana is much better than not a piece of paper, because he doesn't know the story. He doesn't know the stories that stay behind a piece of paper. Well, we are working in this civilization. This civilization is based on a number of stories where the value of money is very important to understand each other. My office is called the Circle. And you know what does it mean to square the circle? I don't know if you use such an expression. To square the circle. To make a circle becoming a square, or to make a square becoming a circle. This is a very, very strange way to say that something is very difficult to be. It's very difficult to deal with. It's very difficult to face. Well, doesn't exist any square with the same dimension, with the same area of the square. You cannot create any circle with the area of a square, and any square with the dimension of a circle, because it's not possible. Simply, it's not possible. And we call the Pi Greco, I do say here, Pi Greek, and to create the circumference and the area of the circle, we use we call transcendent number. That is a number that doesn't belong to the number we can envisage. A transcendent number. I find that this is wonderful. It is wonderful, the idea that a square and circle, they cannot match together, and that will always exist a difference between two very simple, very easy to understand geometrical shapes. So in some way, when I think to all the problems that we have in front of us, inequalities, social sustainability, economical sustainability, environmental sustainability, in some way I feel that we are looking to make a circle becoming a square, or vice versa. This is the only solution I can give you, because as I told you, the reality is qualified by opposites, light and darkness, positive and negatives, tall and short, cold and warm, and so on. And we are continuously dancing between the opposites. This idea that we have to deal with opposites, and we have continuously to jump from one side to the other, is only valuable if we do in a funny, enjoyful, and creative way. So my suggestion is just to take as much as possible of our capability of creating something, just to take some enjoyment, some playful idea of life, jumping from one side to the other. We are very lucky that we belong to this time. This time is where everything is changing so rapidly. Innovation is coming continuously. Scientific discoveries are discovering something that would not have been possible 10, 15 years ago. And something that we should now learn for ourselves is no longer to use our mind to know better, but to know better through understanding how to achieve a better knowledge. The knowledge, since the time of computers, web, and so on, is available for everybody. Now with AI, it's even easier to access to knowledge. But we don't know yet how to use knowledge, how to use these wonderful capabilities that we have to treat data and to elaborate information to create a better world. Something that I feel that is very dangerous for our time, for our civilization, is to lose the pleasure of experimenting. Experimentation is very, very important. Is really the center of our life. If we are not looking to something new, to get excitement from what we do, and to challenge something that we have always considered as the same, we are going to lose the spirit of experimentation. And that's also why I believe so much in craftsmanship, because the craftsman, when he does something, he always tries to do something in a different way, to find out a way to get a better result. And that's why I believe also that knowledge and education is something very similar to craftsmanship, something that should be done in a very personal and exciting way to find out new experimentations. We have a lot of opportunities today. We know how much AI is helpful to understand, dangerous but helpful, and we should use all this power to understand better the larger environment in which we are working and using our fantasy and imagination. So we need as much as possible to understand what stays around what we do and which are the consequences of what we do. The systemic approach is very important. Systemic design is a beautiful branch for design because it allows to understand that everything that we do is connected to something else. Everything that we say is connected with somebody else. I try to use as much as possible my imagination. In the past year, I developed a project, not for the market, not for my clients, but for myself, for the group of people that is working around me. And we created new kind of buildings that we do not call buildings, we call Earth stations of this planet. Earth stations are many today are something like 40 projects, all different from each other, and buildings that try to catch the the ambitions of the time in which we live. Buildings where we can infuse all the dreams that we have as mankind today. I would love to tell you each project, but unfortunately we don't have time. But we have our imagination. I hope to put a seed inside you to think that it's not necessary to design something for the market. We can design something for ourselves. And when we design something for ourselves and we are happy about it, for sure will be helpful for somebody else. We are imaginations. We are our imagination. We are our thoughts. Right? A lot of benefits for the future will come by the ability to understand better our thoughts and to use better our thoughts. I came up with an equation. Equation is a beautiful concept, is a mathematical concept, but it's beautiful because equations means to find out a balance. You know what an equation is. And an equation is a balance with some unknown factor. And I created an equation for architecture. And I say architecture is environmental installations multiplied by Q, a factor, an unknown factor. Environmental installations means that everything that we do today has to deal with the environment and has to deal with the idea that everything is changing. And has to deal with the idea that it's not changing because it becomes old or because it becomes rusted or dirty or no longer durable. But installations, because what we need today will be not what we need in the future. You see that you know after COVID time, many buildings have been dismissed because they were no longer working with our idea. New York is full of buildings that are abandoned because they are no longer usable. Ceiling is too low, too much space, dark without light, and so on and so on. So, environmental installations, in my opinion, is the right word to understand the architecture of the future. Also because contains this unknown factor. And the unknown factor is all of us. The unknown factor is dealing with our dream, with our ambitions, with what we feel we need for the future. I show you some of my projects where the unknown factor, the Q, is readable there. In Italy, we have a lot of ancient buildings that are owned by the heritage, the historical heritage of Italy, and where it's very, very difficult to change something because they're property of humanity. So sometimes we are dealing with the need of transforming some of this building in new functions, and even that are installations. Even this library is an installation, also because it's done in a way that you can take off the library, and the historical building will be intact. Yes, another cool factor can be the symbolic value of what we did. Many years ago, exactly 12 years ago, I was invited in Georgia to create a monument to peace. Georgia is one of the countries that are satellite of the former Soviet Union, and they wanted a symbol in the city representing peace. And we created a bridge, because a bridge is the most valuable symbol for peace. If we want to create peace, we have to set a, a passage between one side and the other. A bridge is a beautiful metaphor to create relations between people, between cultures, between a different way of thinking. Performance. This is a lamp I designed in 1987, many years ago. Or frugality. The simpleness in the domestic life is essential. Earth. This is a museum of medicine in Switzerland, and there is the museum of a famous pharmaceutical company. And you see, we created a digital skin where we can project and enlarge what the scientists they see inside the microscope. So the images that you see on the skin of this building are not stupid images, but just the cells, the body cells seen in the microscope. Or memory as well is essential. We cannot foresee the future if we are not based on our memories. And here is the house that I'm building for myself when I will be old, and is an house that I'm building since right now since 2 years, and will take longer. But is an house in which I don't want to use any contemporary, conventional way of building. I don't want to use concrete. I don't want to use any conventional way of building constructions. And art. Art is a mystery because nobody knows and understands why a piece of art can be so meaningful and so attractive for centuries. And craftsmanship. As I told you, I believe very much in craftsmanship. In my circle, in my office, we have a small company which we deal only with craftsmanship, with craftsmen, Italian craftsmen, but also international craftsmen, and all these products that we produce with so-called produzione privata is the name of the company, will be shown here in Hong Kong the day after tomorrow in Novalis Gallery. Nature. What is more important of nature today? And temporality, because everything we do should be ready to have a kind of new life after that is no longer in use. I want to end my talk with just some advice for students, for not only students, for everybody, and for myself, because these advices are very important for creating a mental frame in which to operate as designers. So first, there are 10 advices. Look at that. I took a long time to collect these advices, but I think they are very essential for my philosophy. We are all designers of ourselves. We are the only animals, as humankind, as Homo sapiens, we are the only animals that are able to see from outside, to see ourselves from outside. I have a wonderful dog, very intelligent, very nice, very charming, is beautiful. way he is in front of a mirror, he starts to back because he feels that somebody else is in front of you. To see ourselves from outside is a wonderful quality. Because when we see ourselves, we understand who we are, we understand how we look out of us, and we understand very much what we can create for the others and for ourselves. To take care about the spirit of time. Spirit of time is a very abstract concept, but very, very physical as well. Spirit of time, we in Europe we use the word Zeitgeist, that is a German word. That is not the spirit of time, is more the ghost of time. Well, the ghost of time is something that is a cloud, not the digital cloud, but is a cloud that stay even in this room, and that say that today we are here, February 11th, 2005, 2025, 2025. This is the spirit of time. That means that in this moment, there is something where all of us are believing too, and that we feel that is updated, that we understand everything that is old, already going again towards to history, or somebody else says new, or somebody else says looking for the future. And this is spirit of time. It's very important to understand in which time we are living, which are the dream of our time, the ambitions of our time, and which are the responsibilities that we have in our time, and which are the conventions and the knowledge of our time. We cannot design for the world if we don't know the world, and I will say if we don't understand the world, because our job, our profession is to design something new, something different, as I thought, but it is also to design for this specific world. And this specific world is different from the world of 100 years ago or 200 years ago. Be aware of the market. The market is a strange animal. The market is something that can be good or bad, can be right or wrong. The market, if you want to be successful in the market, you have to consider what is the right need of the market. As I told before, what is really going towards the humankind, not against the humankind. Don't give to the clients what they ask for, but what they never dreamed possible. This is a sentence that I put in the lift in my office because I want to tell to all my colleagues, to all my clients, too, that what I'm looking for is not only to satisfy somebody's need, but much more to find out new need and the resolution of these needs, of these dreams. Dreams are very important. I will continuously bring you to talk about dreams and to dream about dreams and to believe to what your dreams bring to. Yes, we are in the Polytechnic, the school Polytechnic, so we know very well what multidisciplinarity is. This will be more and more important in the future because the capability to bring together different knowledge and to work with all the different understanding of reality is fundamental for our job. sometimes my students or some other colleagues, they come to me and they say, I'm not able to find out new clients. Help me to find a new client. How do you do to find so many clients for you? And I say, no, it's not this the way. You will never find the new clients if you write in the door of your office the notice, I'm looking for clients. It's not the way. The most important client is yourself. If you are able to show that you know how to satisfy yourself, you know that all the problems of everybody else are inside you, that is the only way to find the clients. And the first client is yourself. Yeah. Be conscious, be respectful. Also be ironical. Irony is very helpful to understand reality and to shake a little bit the mind. Meditation is a totally Eastern concept. Absolute. Leave it be. Time by time, let be. Let something out of your control. Let something that is natural and is growing with its own rules, with its own laws. We don't have to control everything. Leave it be is a concept that I'm using for myself, I'm using for my office, and is also an installation that I do. That you see, there is my personal atelier where I created a circle in the middle where I don't cut the glass, I don't touch nothing. Nobody is allowed to walk in, and there is where nature is growing by itself without any human participation. And the last one, because I'm very anxious for global change, for the global eating, and for the strange reaction of Mother Nature to the human environment. Well, I believe that the only way is to trust in Mother Nature. Thank you for listening to me.